Good morning, everyone. Froggy Gets Dressed is a book by Jonathan London that I have chosen for this lesson. For this lesson, I am working on sequencing events in a story and adding to the students' vocabulary. This class is an ICT class composed of one teacher, two assistants, and out of the 20 students, 4 have IEPs and 2 are dual language learners, both fluent in Spanish. To assess what my students already know, I would ask them questions about clothing that they wear during certain times of the year. Bradicamp speaks about this in the text on page 294. Teachers engaged the whole group in discussion using questions to prompt and sustain interaction. This book is set in the winter, so the questions I have come up with to the students are: what do we wear if it's cold outside? What do we wear if it's hot outside? Do we wear more clothes when it's cold or hot outside? And do you like to wear clothes in the winter or the summer? But for this question, what I would do is poll my students to see if they can answer the question based on 2 choices given to them, such as this. In this book, Froggy wakes up in the middle of winter and sees that it's snowing outside. His mother tells him to go back to sleep, but he says, "No, I want to play in the snow." So Froggy gets dressed to go outside to play in the snow, but he forgets a couple of items of clothing. Throughout this story, you'll hear his mother yell, "Froggy! Did you forget to put something on?" And each time Froggy has to go back to his bedroom and take everything off to put on his missing clothing. While reading this story, I would pretend to forget what happens and assess if my students are understanding the sequence of events by filling in the missing information. According to Bredecamp on page 385, one of the most effective ways to promote children's language and increase their vocabulary is to engage in the interactive book reading. Speaking of vocabulary, I have written out sight words on index cards so that the students can refer to them when they are listening to the story or answering questions about the story that has been read. As you can see, I have written the words in both English and Spanish so that I can include the dual language learners in the story. On page 297, Bradicamp speaks about the dual language learners and offers suggestions on how to have teachable moments in the classroom. These teachable moments can provide a visually enriched environment with pictures and words in multiple languages and also encourage children's efforts at speaking in new languages. One tip that I try to work on with my students is to avoid correcting them by simply rephrasing and repeating the word. I'm going to read an excerpt from the book so that you can visually see what I am asking the students to sequence in 2 activities I have planned for them that I will be using as a summative assessment. "Froggy!" called his mother. "What?" yelled Froggy. "Did you forget to put something on?" Froggy looked down. He had on his mittens. He had on his scarf. He had on his coat. He had on his shirt. He had on his pants. He had on his boots. And he had on his socks. He reached up. Yep, he had his hat on. So what could he be missing? Let's find out. "Your underwear," his mother laughed. "Oops," said Froggy, looking more red in the face than green. It's my favorite part. After the story is finished, I will ask the students questions about events that happened in the story and assess their recall. Once I have sufficient evidence of the information my students remembered, I will show them the 3 activities I have planned for them. I will split the class into groups and have 3 different stations prepared for them to work. One activity is the students will draw their favorite part of the story or an event they remembered from the book. Once finished, I will take anecdotal notes on what the students tell me based on their drawing. The 2 second activities are from 2 ditto sheets. The first one is of Froggy's articles of clothing in numerical order. So what I'll have the students do is cut them out, see that they're numbered in numerical order, and this also helps with their number recognition. And my assessment will also be to see if the students My assessment will be to see if the students can put the events in order. The other ditto sheet is of Froggy and his mother, Mom Frog, along with the articles of clothing that the students can color themselves and cut and paste onto a piece of construction paper, like so, like so. But they'll put it in order, of course. And again, I will be able to assess their understanding of the story on how they sequence the photos. To end this lesson, I will bring the students back to the circle time carpet to pick out their centers. I will invite my students to explore the dramatic play center, as it has been turned into a laundromat where they can wash their friends' winter clothes to make sure they are nice and clean for the bus ride home. There they can talk amongst themselves about the clothing they are wearing, what they put on first, and how they keep their clothing clean. Just a few suggestions. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing from your feedback on this lesson. I hope you liked it.